How's it going, people? Salmon Slapper here, and RS has literally just been updated, and as you can see, the Kalphite King is now here. So for those of you big ass bosses, you now have a bit more intimidating boss to kill. So they've actually got all this info here, as well as the Hati and Skóll update and stuff. That's all here as well. So yeah, I haven't actually done this before. This is kind of like a behind the scenes deal. So we'll see how this goes, how you lot enjoy it, and maybe we'll do it some more from now on. But without further ado, let's get started. So, the first update, the Kalphite King. So apparently this fella is a combat level of 230, and upon which he also has 3 forms, each requiring different tactics and a completely different array of devastating attacks, including an ability that can one-hit kill anyone who doesn't avoid it, no matter how much HP they got. So that in itself is pretty interesting. The fact that it's got 3 forms and each require different tactics automatically makes me assume that each form is going to be weak to a different part of the combat triangle. So yeah, I'll have to go down there soon and maybe have a little look, see what happens. Should be interesting. The Kalphite King is apparently too much to handle alone, so you'll need to bring friends, and basically to combat this, they're actually going to allow groups of 20 people to join each other to try and kill it. And on that note, they've actually instanced this boss, as you might have already known from the behind the scenes update. But yes, it is instanced, similar to how the QBD is. But the difference is, when you actually get to it, you can choose 2 choices upon trying to enter. One is create your own instance, and the other is to join an existing one. If you choose to join an existing one, it'll put you in with a random group of people who are trying to kill the Kalphite King. Simple as that. The other version though, you can create one yourself, and this will actually allow you to put a password on your own instance if you wish. It'll also allow you to determine the spawn rate of the Kalphite King within your own instance. So, for example, you go in with a hell of a lot of people, let's say a clan for example, and let's say you're annihilating it a hell of a lot quick, with let's say 5 minutes, but you don't want to wait around for another 5 for it to respawn. You can change that up a bit. I don't know the specifics yet, as I haven't actually been in game and tried it out yet, as it's still updating at the moment. But yeah, new little grouping system, which we could actually end up seeing maybe across the entirety of RuneScape soon, as they did mention they'd be adding this into the game. I really hope this isn't what they meant by adding it into the game, but yeah, we'll see. So basically, this new place where you can find the Kalphite King is called the Exiled Kalphite Hive, and you can actually find this place just to the south of one of the RSUpdate's teleports, Geralda, I think it's called. Whether I can't remember if that's the ancient temple or the Agility Pyramid. You'll have to forgive me on that one. The RSUpdate teleports are a bit strange to me. I don't use it very often. But yeah, apparently this will require a decent group of people and some high-ass combat level with the best gear available. So I hope you will give that a go if you do like your bossing. And for those of you curious, these are the 3 different type of weapons you can get from the Kalphite King. And basically all of these will require level 90, and the Kalphite King also drops the 3 offhand equivalents. And in case you're wondering, it's comprised of a rapier, longsword and mace. So these are the new high-ass melee weapons, which will most likely cost your bank and then some. But yeah, top weapons in the game. To repair these though, as they do actually degrade, you can go down to Bob and you can talk to him and actually he'll repair it for you, or as usual you can go to your armor stand and repair it there. Alternatively though, if you don't actually have the cash or don't want to buy it, then you can go ahead into the little Kalphite Cave yourself, and you can kill exiled Kalphites, and they will actually drop something which is untradeable called chitin, and you'll actually get it as damaged chitin. But if you have a smith level of 60 or higher, you can actually break this down into scraps at an anvil, and this will make it tradable and ready for use in repairs. So if you've got the 60 smithing, that could be fairly decent money to start off with. It'll probably end up being quite cheap though, depending on how often it drops. So here you go, a bit more on the Exiled Kalphite Hive. If I can find out the location. There's somewhere in here. Apparently you can train your combat and slayer on the Kalphites. The actual Kalphites themselves in the normal Kalphite layer, their drops have actually been improved as well. So you can see there, they've been improved much, making them more appealing as a combat target. So there we go. New drops from actual Kalphites, and then a Kalphite King to boot with new 90 level weapons. So not a bad drop. And not a bad boss. So you can see here, this is it. You can find the Exiled Kalphite Hive just to the south of Jaldaroct Pyramid in the Caridian Desert. Upon entering, you'll be given the choice of instance, and yeah, just said that. But yeah, the requirements, you have to be a member, and there are actually no level requirements, although apparently Jagex recommend 80 in both your main combat skill and your defense skill. They also reckon you should take at least 10 people with the best gear your skill level allows. Which, conveniently enough, they have actually just said you need minimum of 80, which is next stuff. So there we go. That's pretty much it for that. Hati and Skóll here, I'll cover that in just a second. They've apparently added new monster weaknesses, so that might actually be worth checking out. It's this little page here. And they should give you a list of every single one you want, which isn't too bad and is probably worth bookmarking. They've actually changed a few items now, which you can now note, which previously you could not. These are the elf crystals, which can now be recharged while noted. Special teak and mahogany logs, you can now exchange them at the sawmill while they're noted. Eligible Dominion Tower rewards can be exchanged for Dominion Factor while at a reward box while they are noted. And additionally, untradeable pots can now be decanted while noted, which is overloads in a nutshell. Which is about time. That should have been added a very long ass time ago. Never mind, on to the next bit, Hati and Skóll and stuff. So, Hati, one of the Relica Wolves. For those of you who haven't done it before, you need to speak to Valley just outside Relica. He'll tell you how to attract and kill Hati. But, in a nutshell, you can find him just to the southeast of Relica, typically. And he'll be wandering around. You may need some help to take him out. And upon death, he will actually drop paws, and a hood, and a cape. The cape and the hood are simply cosmetic. The claws, or paws, on the other hand, will actually double your combat XP gained within the next 10 in-game hours while they're worn. Or that they're worn. So yeah, nice chunk of free XP there. Skóll, on the other hand, is the other wolf from Relica, and this fella you can find to the far west of the entrance of Relica, and there'll be a guy standing near the coast called Vitar. And basically you can talk to him and he'll tell you how to lure and fight Skóll, which basically consists of chopping down wood from nearby trees, placing them in a big ass pile, and setting that on fire, and eventually Skóll will pop up. For killing Skóll though, you do get some boots, and apparently a new item they've added now called the Skóll Amulet. As far as I know at the moment, and from what this tells me, the Skóll Amulet is just a cosmetic item only, whereas the boots will actually give you a boost in agility and woodcut XP. And apparently these are equivalent to the combat XP boost from the paws. And also, if you already own said items, then they'll automatically be recharged as soon as you log in. So, for those of you going after agility, or maybe a bit of combat, or even some woodcutting, this is a very nice thing to do, and I'd highly recommend giving it a go. The combat updates they mentioned just the other week, where they're adding chaotic claws and everything, is all here now. So, chaotic spikes are now available to buy from Dungeoneering. They can all be added to Dragon Claws. Apparently there's 5 each for both the main hand and the offhand claws. These powerful new chaotic claws will require 80 attack to wield and degrade in the same way as other chaotic weapons. So nothing new there. The defense values of your armor and weapons have all been refactored to provide additional effectiveness and worth to high level gear and weaponry. NPCs have also undergone a similar treatment, so be warned when returning. Tougher NPCs, well, apparently all the NPCs you're killing, slaying, or just randomly ganking, have all been upgraded a little bit, so they should be hitting that much harder. And on the side note, your gear armor ratings have actually been changed, so the higher level gear you got, the better defense you have, which is really how it should be. I'll have to log into game at some point and maybe check some of the differences if I can find the old armor ratings. But yeah, it should make life a little bit harder now and not so much a cakewalk. Additional news though, specifically Torva, Pernix and Virtus, they all now confer class specific strength bonuses to the wearer. This is also a additional strength bonus for wearing full sets of either Torva, Pernix or Virtus. On another one, the Bandos chestplate, Armored chestplate and Subjugation robe have all had class specific strength bonuses added as well. But for those, it is only the top / plate that will actually give you that bonus. Torva, Pernix and Virtus on the other hand, the entire set will give you a little bit of a bonus, and then when you have all of it, you'll gain a bigger bonus on top of it. And like they said before, regeneration is now 20% less effective, and rejuvenation is on a 5-minute cooldown. So, no more Immortality God Wars runs, apparently. Oh well, it was nice while it lasted. So that's pretty much it. Apparently with these effects, it should stabilize the economy and making high-end gear as awesome as it should be. And that's pretty much it for this little update. There's not much else to mention. That's pretty much covered everything they have. Other than apparently Java 7 now has an exploit, so be careful of that. Either way, that is the update. I hope you all enjoyed. This is the first one of its kind. So yeah, give me some feedback, and it'd be nice to know. So, until next time, maybe a little Kalphite King video. The QBD guide, which I did mention. Sorry it wasn't out on the weekend, I kind of got a bit busy. But I will have it as soon as possible, don't you worry. And that's pretty much it. Can't think of much else, so I will catch you all later. Have a good one. Take out the Kalphite King. Kill it.